Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Brittany here. So, if you had COVID maybe months ago, but you're still living with this relentless fog that just won't lift, maybe you're dealing with fatigue so deep that it feels like chronic fatigue syndrome, where no amount of sleep seems to touch it. Maybe you get that dizziness feeling when you just stand for short periods of time, or maybe you get shortness of breath, or maybe you're struggling with crushing anxiety. Maybe you've been to doctor and all the tests came back normal and they say your labs look fine. Maybe it's just stress. I'm here to tell you you're not imagining it and you're definitely not crazy. So what you're feeling is very real. And I personally think that we're seeing a massive explosion of nervous system dysregulation among people, primarily due to COVID. So in this video, we're going to dive deep into what's exactly why these long COVID symptoms have such a long-term impact on the nervous system and how the brain retraining can actually be the missing piece to help you start recovering. So if you're watching this video, you get it. You know the frustration, that weird disoriented feeling that we call brain fog, the dizzy spell that hits you when you stand up, and the sheer bone deep exhaustion. But maybe the most difficult part for long haulers is going through the medical system, desperate for answers, only to hear the words that's really soul crushing. Everything looks normal. You need to know how far from alone you are. We see this every single day. There's a significant overlap in the symptoms reported by patients with long COVID and MCAS. And research shows that a huge number of people with long COVID report dealing with brain fog, and a majority are battling with this deep, persistent fatigue. And many also struggle with muscle pain and this weird numbness and tingling sensation. And these aren't small things. They can completely take over your life. In fact, some research suggests that the impacts on your quality of life is on par with conditions like a stroke or even Parkinson's disease. So for so long, people with these exact symptoms, now recognized as long COVID or MCFS, were dismissed and told that it was all in their head. But the science is finally catching on to what millions of you have been living. So this is the real psychological issue, and the confusion, the memory problems, the physical exhaustion, anxiety. It's not a character flaw. It all has a biological driver. Your experience is valid, and I just want you to understand what's truly happening inside your body and the most powerful step that you can take to reverse these symptoms. And before we get into the science of how this happens, I want you to know that recovery is absolutely possible. In our program, we see massive wins every single day from people who were once in your exact position. So if you want to, check out some proof, you can go to our testimonials page on our website. I'm going to put a link in the description for you. So the science behind the brain fog. So what's really going on? I just want to briefly go over that. What's happening inside your brain that's causing all this? It's not just one thing. It's more like a chain reaction that the virus kind of kicks off. And I want to break that down into three things that researchers are, really honing in on. So first up is neuroinflammation. And the simplest way to think about that is your brain's own security system gets stuck on high alert. So when you first get COVID, your body launches this big inflammatory attack to fight the virus, which is what it's supposed to do. But the problem is, for so many people, that switch never gets turned off. It just keeps simmering in the background, creating chronic inflammation right inside your nervous system. This creates static and it interferes with how your brain cells talk to one another, leading to slower thinking and that classic heavy brain fog. So second is the direct impact that the virus has, and the blood vessel issue. So we now have solid evidence that parts of the virus can actually hide out in the body for months, even as long as a year or more, long after you've recovered. And on top of that, we now confirm that COVID can cause the blood vessels in the brain to become leaky. So think of your blood-brain barrier as the high security fence that protects your brain. And research shows that people with brain fog, that fence is compromised. So when it's leaky, inflammatory molecules can get through, fueling the fire for neuroinflammation and disrupting normal brain function. So third, there are major changes happening on a cellular level. This constant state of inflammation and these leaky blood vessels just mess with the delicate signaling, between your brain cells. So it's like trying to clear a phone conversation on a line that's full of static. The message just doesn't get through cleanly. So all of these things, the simmering inflammation, the leaky the leaky barrier and the communication together create the perfect storm for brain fog, memory issues, and overwhelming, crushing fatigue that we see so much of in long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome. So, brain fog gets most of the headlines, but the reality is that long COVID's effects go way beyond just the brain. It can throw your entire nervous system out of whack, which is why you get the whole collection of strange and baffling symptoms. Two major systems that get really hard are the autonomic nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So I want to start with the autonomic nervous system, and this is your body's autonomic control panel or automatic control panel. It runs everything, and you don't have to think about it. Your heart rate, your blood pressure, digestion, even your body temperature. But in long COVID, this whole system can go haywire, and it's called dysautonomia. And when this happens, this is exactly why so many people get a racing heart just from standing up. And it's a condition called POTS. And this glitch is also what's behind the dizziness or the feeling of being, shortness of breath, the wild swings in the blood pressure, the digestive issues, and the feeling way too hot or freezing cold all the time for no reason. And I personally think this is what really caused the massive explosion of nervous system dysregulation that we're seeing. Things like chronic anxiety, fatigue, and even the new food sensitivities. And the data now shows that a huge percentage of people with long COVID have developed some form of dysautonomia. So, for me, I know this is what I truly believe is the driver behind a lot of the chronic symptoms that we're seeing. But then you have the peripheral nervous system. And these are all the nerves that branch out from the brain and the spinal cord to your skin, your hands, and your feet. And when these nerves get irritated, it's called peripheral neuropathy. And in long COVID, this is what causes the tingling, the numbness, the skin burning, or those sharp zapping pains that you might feel in your hands and feet. And I had those. They're really, it's absolutely a nightmare. It's torture to have all that. And it's not just anxiety. It's a tangible sign that your nervous system is dysregulated and struggling. So yeah, that was like, I went to the ER one night and had that, and I just laid there with my skin feeling like it was on fire. But what's really happening, a lot of people always ask, am I ever going to get better? But the answer is yes, for so many. But we have to be realistic about the journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but really the only way out of these chronic symptoms, it's a nervous system issue. So many people do see their symptoms get better over time, especially when they partake in the brain retraining programs. But it can be incredibly stubborn. So we see from the research that these can hang on for several years for a lot of people. So it's mind-blowing, really. And the research really suggests that if you've had a really severe initial infection or if you've had other health issues beforehand, you might be at higher risk for more persistent problems. But, and this is so important to hear that we see people all the time who've had very, very mild cold-like infections who go on to develop severe, long-lasting neurological symptoms. So the main thing to understand is that recovery is an ebb and flow. You're likely going to have times where you feel like you're making progress, and followed by frustrating days where you feel like you might be going backwards. But for many, finding the right tools like brain retraining can be the absolute missing piece of the puzzle. It was for me. It was the only thing that worked, and I tried everything. But giving yourself the grace and the patience to heal is one of the most critical things you can do. So there is hope. There's a path forward. And, I just want to give you guys hope. So our 5-pillar approach to nervous system healing, understanding why your nervous system is struggling, is step 1. So knowing what to do about it is step 2. And while there's no magic pill, the path to recovery lies in retraining the brain itself, leveraging its natural ability to change itself. So our program is built entirely around this principle. We focus on giving you the tools to actively rewire your dysregulated nervous system through daily structured actions. And it's all based on the 5-pillar framework that you can start using today. So again, the first pillar is understanding neuroplasticity. Before you can change your brain, you have to believe it's possible. And this pillar is absolutely, it is mind-blowing because your brain has the ability to reorganize itself and form new neural connections. So you're going to learn how your brain can get stuck in this protective, high alert state and create new healthy pathways. So the second pillar is identify negative thinking patterns. These can keep you stuck in fight or flight. These are the what ifs, or it's basically living in a constant state of survival mode. You get all these negative thinking patterns. We've identified over 70 of these in our program, and these can keep the nervous system on high alert. So we help you interrupt them in the moment, breaking the cycle that fuels chronic symptoms. So the third pillar is doing daily exercises, vagus nerve exercises, to help shift the nervous system out of fight or flight and into the rest and digest. You'll be doing daily exercises, stimulating your vagus nerve, and this is the direct physical way to lower your heart rate, reduce inflammation, and tell your nervous system that you're safe. Now, the fourth pillar is prioritizing mood elevation. Healing doesn't happen in a state of constant stress or despair. Elevating your mood is not a luxury. It's a non-negotiable part of recovery. So this pillar focuses on actively and intentionally incorporating moments of joy and laughter and gratitude all throughout your day. And these positive emotional states act as powerful signals to your brain that you are safe, and it helps create lasting change. So the fifth pillar is exposure training. So when you have chronic symptoms, your brain learns to fear certain activities like walking or reading or being in a busy environment because it associates them with a flare-up. So we teach you how to use exposure therapy to safely reintroduce these activities. And you'll learn how to basically, we'll do the step-by-step so that you can make progress and teaching your brain that it's no longer a threat. So yeah, if this message speaks to you and you're looking for a little more support for your long COVID symptoms or chronic fatigue syndrome, and I'd love to invite you to check out our recovery system program. It's a clear step-by-step system built on these 5 pillars. It's going to walk you through what to focus on each and every single day so you can take intentional and manageable steps towards breaking free from chronic symptoms. And if you want a healing path that's strategic and focuses on retraining your brain, then this is it. Because if you're ready to calm down that stress response and bring things back in that maybe you've been avoiding, like, working out again or going out to your favorite restaurant or going back to work again or just living life, then this program is for you. We'll help you reverse chronic symptoms from long COVID or chronic fatigue syndrome, whether it's, like I said, going out to eat at your favorite restaurants or driving again, exercising without a crash or going back to work. So when you join, you're going to get 6 months of personalized support inside of a private Facebook group where you can ask unlimited questions. You'll get answers from me and my team, and we're going to give you customized coaching. You'll have a daily brain retraining tools that you can use based on the 5 pillars and all the guidance that you need. You can ask, it doesn't matter if you have 1 question or 70, they're going to get answered. So if you're tired of doing this alone and you're ready for a lasting change, then go ahead and book your free discovery call. And I'm going to put a link in the description. And on that call, we're going to just create a personalized plan for you to see if the program is the perfect fit. And these spots are limited. So, we intentionally keep the group kind of small to give you personalized attention. And if you're ready to break free from chronic symptoms and reclaim your life, start retraining your nervous system out of chronic symptoms, then this is the missing piece for you. So yeah, the journey through long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome can feel incredibly lonely, but I do want to leave you with this today, is that what you're experiencing is real, regardless of what any lab test has shown. And second, it is rooted in real, measurable biological changes in your nervous system. Third is a path to reverse chronic symptoms by retraining your nervous system. It truly does exist. And healing is possible. And I want to give you guys hope because it requires patience to do the work daily, no matter what, and you will recover. So I want to thank you so much for watching. And if this video was helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a new video on long COVID recovery. And, we're on this journey with you, and we're just praying for you, and God bless you.